you all so much for coming down and seeing this film tonight. It's really great to be taking this around the world. It's absolutely fantastic to be bringing this to Berlin and to this film festival and to audiences like yourselves. So thank you so much for coming, and I hope you enjoyed it. I'm going to say a few words about the production of the film, about my part in it, and about what Stu was trying to achieve with it. So we'll have a little discussion about that, and then if there's any questions, you can either put them to me, or we are going to establish a Skype chat. It's probably already running with Stu, straight from Australia, and he's going to be down in the lounge. So we'll see how that works, if there's anything that I can't answer, or if you're just interested to see the man himself. We'll leave it to the wonders of technology. As ordinarily, I'm a documentary producer. I worked at the BBC and I make science documentaries, so I don't have a motion picture background, but I came into Stu through the TV industry and was staying over in Australia for a time, and started working in during the post-production process. The last 3 weeks of this film were an absolute adventure. It was the final stage of the filmmaking, which was the audio mix, where all of the audio was sort of mixed down into a single track. One problem with this film was that the camera we used was extremely noisy, so a lot of the audio had to be redone and redubbed, and that's something that I was involved with. So Stu mixed all the audio himself in a very small room in a university in Newcastle. And I was around to see that final stage of the process. I think one thing that really signifies it for me is a sequence at the beginning of the film where Nick falls face first into the water on the beach. Now, the crew didn't get the audio for that on the day for various reasons. Sometimes it's just very difficult to record good sound. So one of my jobs was to go back to the beach with someone who was willing to fall face first into the sea in order to get the right kind of splash. So we do that and we dub it in. And that was the case with a lot of the audio in the film, actually, right from the footsteps that you hear at the very beginning of the film, which no one really notices unless they're not there, through to some of the hissing sounds, through to the noise the guy makes when he's hanging from a rope. All of those were dubbed in later and actually recorded in the studio. So at the beginning, when Nick falls into the sea, we don't have the splash, so Stu fixes me up with Brenton, who plays Sam, the boxer guy, and we went down to the beach. And I asked Sam to repeatedly throw himself face first into the water so I could get the right sound that would sync up just right and would sort of just give the audience that sensation of falling face first into the sea. So we did that for about an hour, and after that was done, I took the audio tracks back to the edit, it was dubbed in and it was fine, and it was about 2 weeks later where I realised there was absolutely no need for him to fall face first into the water for me to get a noise of him. He could have gone in backwards, we could have got a sack of potatoes, it was completely unnecessary. It wasn't sadistic, I just thought I want to get the most authentic thing possible. So I think in a way that sums up the film. It's about trying to get the most authentic thing possible with a group of very, very dedicated people who will even go so far to fall straight forward into cold water again and again for absolutely no money in that case. It's paid for acting work, but not for the splash work. So it's nice to talk about that a little bit, because these films don't happen unless the microphone works. Which is not. Here we go. These films don't happen unless people get behind it and actually get passionate and put all of their time and all of their efforts into it. And we had that. One of Stu's big talents as a director, if this microphone ever works, don't forget, there we go. One of Stu's big talents as a director is to build around him a group of people who are that passionate and actually bring that out of them, bring that out of the people on camera, out of the people behind the camera, and maintain that through a very long shoot. So if anyone's wondering how you make a film like this for very little money, it begins with that mentality and that philosophy, and that's really what sustains it. So we're going to try and get that loaded up in the next few minutes, and if anyone would like to say hello to Stu, tell him if you enjoyed the film, and ask some direct questions if anyone's interested in any other elements of the filmmaking that are a bit more specific and maybe a bit more detailed. we'll be down in the lounge talking on Skype. So you're all more than welcome. Thank you very much.
Maybe about 10 grand, something like that. I think the way that it works is that if you, everybody these days has a social media presence, everybody has a room there. So long story short, most of the money came from me doing that, with a little bit of crowdfunding. Yes, we filmed in Transylvania, which is, people think it's a fictional place, but it's a real place. It's half of Romania. You'd know this, because you're in Europe, right? Why Romania in particular? I'm very good friends with a guy that runs a production company there. So when it came time to choosing the nationality of my leading lady, the lead character, I specifically wrote her as Romanian. The reason that I cast myself as Hamish was because I wrote the music. Eugene Gilfedder was my drama teacher in high school, and he was basically like this really top level theatre guy in Australia, and at that time in the place where I grew up called Brisbane, which is the capital of Queensland. So when I was studying theatre at high school, we would go and see these plays as a school excursion to the like Brisbane Theatre Company, and he would be the star like half the time. And so he developed this reputation of being this amazing theatre guy, and he's now absolutely the very top level of theatre in Australia. So he's like doing like Sydney Theatre Company top billing with Rosebone and that kind of stuff. So when it came time to cast the film, I got in touch with him and sent him a script, and he said, yeah, I'd love to do it. And it took years to then get it off the ground, but he was still keen like 3 years later. With Clara, I originally cast someone else, the woman who played Rada's sister in Romania. Her name was Laura Vasiliu. She was like literally the co-star of the film that won the Palme d'Or at Cannes. And I'm like, wow, she's going to be my leading lady, this is amazing. But then the Australian government wouldn't let her into the country, they wouldn't get her a visa. There's a very strict visa policy in Australia, they basically don't let anyone into the country, and there's the union said, no, you can get an Australian to play this part. And I'm like, it's a Romanian. Thank you all for coming along. I'm glad you took the time to see the movie. Anyone that wants to come up and have a Skype chat, I'll stay online for a bit. Grab a gin, and I'll stay here. I don't really have any gin to have. In solidarity, I'll have a water instead. Okay, okay.
Thank you.